Howdy, Solar Kneecaps here with the deck update. Yeah, I'm back or something like that. Dragon Prophecy mini format kind of took me on commission for a bit, played a lot of other random stuff, but I'm back in the saddle again because Dark World's pretty good this format, and with a few interesting, some new cards and a few older ones, kind of made this deck a little more consistent, and with the new meta, there's a few cards that are a little bit better now. So we're going to just go over really quickly the deck list, just because I'm probably going to be making a few tips and tricks kind of esque videos, maybe some life lessons for any future Dark World players, current, or if you're going up against one, maybe something that you can expect their plays to do so you can better prepare against them. Makes it kind of silly since I'm playing the deck, but anyway, enjoy this challenge. So, playing the one of Hibris, the little Archfiend. I really like her. Searches out Trance Archfiend, and I think as a one of, it's an excellent tech choice. It's never really dead. It gives you another tour guide target and another foolish target. I mean, if you're kind of having a meh hand and you tour guide, you can tour guide into Zen mains, and you don't even need like a set torrential or anything. You can just kind of sit on that, and eventually you're going to get to detach, and you're going to be able to get pluses for days. So that's always good. One of beige, not running any silva, and not two beige. Two beige actually may not be too awful. However, I don't really have any room or anything I really feel like taking out for it, but I think one is definitely fine, since if you really need it, you can search it. So, and it's not really as important with some of the other cards here. So we also have Triple Brow, Triple Grapha, Triple Snow, pretty much the same. Two Tour Guides, just because it's probably the best in this deck. I don't know if there's any other deck that can use Tour Guide as much. I doubt it. And then Double Trance. Originally ran one, but with Trance looping and kind of like being able to get back any banished cards, I've noticed is quite beneficial. And since I changed around the discard outlet numbers a little bit, so I felt like the extra trance provided me the consistency I needed, and it's just a good 1800 or 2300 beat stick under gates, so that's always good. And onto the spells. I believe that's 15 monsters. We've got 17 spells here, and Allure Darkness. Again, I'm deciding to run this since I have the searchable double trance, which makes it, if I have to allure a Brow or allure a Snow, and hell, maybe even if I really fucking have to allure a Grapha into summon trance, at least, foolish for little one to get trance, it's not as bad, and it's just added draw power, and I'm always a fan of that. One Dark Hole, the triple dealings, two drag down, trance replaced my one drag down, even though Harris can still plus from being discarded, since it's just as by card effect to the grave. You can dealings it and still get a Snow-esque search off of it. I just wasn't really too much a fan of it, and with a lot of decks having, when people know how to play it, they just set all the good shit anyway. So kind of work with that. One Foolish is good. One Gateway of the Dark World, pretty much the Monster Reborn in the deck. I think it's actually better than Monster Reborn since it's like got that end phase thing going on, and it can be used in battle phase. So if you attack with your Grapha, I've had this happen before where they attacked with Grapha, they just mirror forced it because they had nothing else. So that's fine. Still in battle phase, Gateway, Monster Reborn, and pop, go in for again. I think they had another mirror force, but that's still pretty beneficial. One of MST, I could see you not playing this, however, because you have the Graphas, but I just being able to have that extra MST in your hand when, just right when you're ready, you pop one back row with the other Grapha, and then you're like, I'm going to chain MST that, and it's like, oh, you getting them. Just so you have a pretty much guaranteed clear the way. One Day of Peace, I can see why people don't like it. I think it's the best card in the deck, however. It's abusive as fuck, but, whatever. I think it's good. 34 card deck with it, so that's pretty good. And then Triple Gates and Triple Upstart. So that's 17 traps, I believe, or 17 spells. And now onto the traps, which I have 8 of. For the one-ofs, we have the one Compulse, it's just really good. Smog, pretty much what I replaced my dealings, or not my dealings, my card destruction with. And it's actually proven to be probably it's really good. Okay, we're just gonna say it. It's probably one of the better cards for Dark Worlds right now, and I would run 2. However, having 2 on the field is it just doesn't really work out so well, um, personally. And you could run 2 because you really want to draw into it. However, I guess this my Smog likes me, and I seem to always get it when I need it. And I feel like 1 is okay. Sadly, it's not called Dark World Smog, and then it'd be snow searchable. But yeah, do what you can. 1 deck dev, 1 eradicator. I think they're both really good this format. I could make an argument for pretty much every deck. Mermails, maybe not this so much, however, still hitting their spells and or traps is pretty beneficial, especially first turn. And deck dev is pretty much good against everything, and anything these at least deck dev isn't good against, it's not half bad Lance. It's a little bit slower, obviously, since it's a trap rather than a quick play spell, but it protects your Grappa, your Snow, or whatever play that you really need to go into, and yeah, it works out. This card, I think, is one of the most broken things you can do to well, to most decks. However, this is probably my best defense, apart from Skill Drain and Smog, towards plant dragons, evil dragon elemental dragons with plants in them. Because if you knock out their spells, they're not doing so hot. They can't really, they don't get those free pluses that they can get, and there's just a lot of spells that they really like to keep their engine going, and I've noticed this one really helps me. 2 skill drain, it's OP this format. 3 I am not feeling so much. 2 I think is fine. Sometimes you don't draw into it, but I feel like if I was running at 3 I would draw 2, start with 2 more, and I don't always want it. I mean, noted I am running Trance and Tour Guide, so those are really the only targets that I really don't want, or I really can't play under Skill Drain, even though at least with Trance I can just get the another banished card if I really wanted to. But it's this deck, or this card just shuts down pretty much almost every deck right now, and I even like it against Elemental Dragons, even though I notice people, or they side that in. I still think this is basier, because the only out they have, if I have Skill Drain up, and sometimes they don't always have that blaster, and they gotta get over 3k, they gotta get a fucking Star Eater, and I can tell you, I got more than enough outs to getting rid of Star Eater, so so we'll have to see about that. And then Solemn Warning, it's just a really good trap right now. I mean, you might as well play it. It's the best one of. And then Torrential, your deck is pretty much, or your Grappas are reusable. Might as well Torrential. It works well with Trance. It works well with Zenmane. So might as well go for that. Onto the side deck. It changes up quite a bit, but I think this is a pretty good, at least for my preferences. We got the 2 Maxi, True Raikou for the monsters. Spells, just the 2 Maxi, or 2 Maxis, bloody hell. 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. For the traps, we got Dark Smog, just another one, just in case there's a specific matchup I'd rather have. It, perhaps Chaos Dragons or something I really feel like I need to control the grave more, maybe Insectors or something. If I banish the Hornet or banish the Dragonfly, it's pretty much GG anyway. Another deck dev, just for, if there's a deck that I need it more. The 1 Goza match and the other Rivalry, 2 cards that shut down a lot of very good decks right now. The one of Mind Crush, just in case I feel like I need it. I'm not entirely sure what I would side it into, but I think it'd be nice to have, just in case. Needle Sealing, this is kind of an interesting card that I kind of realized. It's obviously it's great for decks that swarm, but for me, I kind of think of it as just like another Torrential, but a little more tricky, or a lot harder to read, because it's pretty much like a Torrential mixed with a Mirror Force, mixed with a Dark Hole kind of thing. It's got a lot of good timings that you can do it when you feel like you really need to blow up everything. And like I said, if you pop a Grappa, if you pop a Trance with it, you're just gonna get another Trance. You're gonna get another Banish. It's all recyclable. You don't really mind too much. And you can even just set this Needle Sealing and just go for it. And it's also a great counter to this card, which is probably going to be banned soon. Return from Different Dimension. I have it in here just, Macro Rabbit really isn't a thing, but I think it would probably be more of a game 3 side if I notice that they're going crazy with like banishers and with deepers and like all that jazz, like going Glad Beast style or whatever. It's pretty much a good game stealer, if you will. And then 2 Royal Decrees, just for any anti-meta, even though there's not really, I mean, apart from like main deck Macrocosmos, the 1 is really not anything else. But it's just nice to have, good against Black Wings. That's at least the one that I can think off the top of my head. Going on to the extra deck, I don't know why it's all scrambled, but we're going to go over the rank 3s first. So we got our standard Zen mains because it's good, 10 tempo because it's good, Acid Golem because it just kills over 3Ks if I really need to, and or under skill drain. It's it's like a crazy box. Gigabrill just because it's good in mirror match and just good overall. Leviathan Dragon just because if I really need a Gates target, it's good. Also just another nice beater. And then the 1 Levier may run 2, but honestly I'm pretty stretched on extra deck space, and I really don't ever want the second one, so I'm okay with that. For the rank 4s, we got Evil Swarm Nightmare, which I think is pretty good in most decks, or against most decks, and especially with Gates. It's got that big booty, man. Like, it's going to be a little more trickier to take care of it if I'm, flipping everything the special summon into defense position. It's nice, it's really hard to have something that normal summons to get over it, and I just like it. Thalnos, it's an okay card. I like it under Gates because it also makes it a double virus target. There's it beats Priestess, which is kind of nice. If it's got Gates up, it's 50 more. And just not being able to be targeted by monster effects is just nice to have once in a while, especially since it's a quick effect. And then the 1 of Cowboy, it's in a 10, so I got one. Might as well play it because you never know when you can trans beige overlook for Cowboy for game. Yeah. And then for the rank 8s, we have the 1 of Zombie Stein, probably one of my favorites in this extra deck, just because you thought Beastkeep Barb with skill drain and some back row is difficult. Imagine 45. That is another. This is like skill drain plus this is really difficult for dragons to be. Like I said, they always have the no skill blaster out, but well, I guess nothing you can do about that. But still, definitely a difficult thing to get over. You have the 2 Heliopolis. Heliopolis looping is good. Being able to go into more than to 1, I felt like I really need, and its effect doesn't target, which is great. So I mean, you just detach, and they don't know if you're just popping 1 card or their whole field, so they can't chain anything. It's just a great backroad. It's a phenomenal card, and I feel like 2 is good. We got Grinder Golem. I go into this a lot if I'm expecting Mirror Force, and I just, I'm just gonna detach 1 and pop a special summon because usually there's 1 on the field that was special summon, and then maybe resummon the graph and then attack it. And it's sadly it's not really a target for anything. It's not a fiend, but it is dark, so it's just another thing I can go into with like Ghost Match Out. In fact, most of these things I can. Either way. And then the 1 of Neo Galaxy S Photon Dragon, kind of overkill. I mean, you go into it sometimes, but if you have the option to, and it's cost effective, you can get rid of 3 Draco Sacks. You attack 5 times for 7,000 or something like that. Probably won't happen, but that would definitely be a funny thing to do. But it's just a stat 1. So that's the deck list. I really like it. Probably won't change it for a very long time. I'm crossing my fingers, but I'm happy with it. The only things that I'd even like on my mind, I mean, MST and 1 Day Apiece, since they're like really techy. Well, I mean, Mystical Space is not techy, but 1 Day is. I mean, it'd be nice to have like a bottomless, even a main deck Needle Ceiling, just having like a lot of back row, since it doesn't, these don't really advance my plays except for 1 Day because I can draw more, and it's great to abuse with Virus or first turn, or just to scout. I like anyway, but maybe even Walkaboo, just because that's kind of a big thing. Like Boku, Wakaboo, Wataku. I don't even know anymore. So here's the deck list for the new ban list. I mean, think it's probably, I wouldn't call it the best, but it's damn near close. There's probably two cards that you could switch out to make it more efficient. But at least for my preference and playstyle and what I've experimented with, I feel like this is a solid build. So hope you guys enjoy. I'll be doing a couple of tips and tricks videos using this specific deck, because this one helps me do a certain combo, which I think will be in the second video or something. And we'll talk about translooping and probably just commentating over other videos or playing with friends with live narration. But we're gonna have to see about that. So hope you guys enjoy. Rate, comment, sub, and peace out.